I wasn't absolutely sure where we had landed on this prompt, so I made up my own idea about what we were talking about.
Good, good.
This isn't really a poem, but it's just musings on existence. As we drove into the lumber company, my 5-year-old daughter looked up at me and said, "Are we real or are we dreaming ourselves?" At 103, a grandmother looked out her window and saw men in black suits coming toward the house from the field. "What do they want?" she asked. "They said to tell you that they are ready for you when you are ready to go," replied her son, who had gone outside to check. The Findhorn Gardens in Scotland were planted in an area which everyone said was too far north and too cold to grow. Stubbornly carrying out their dream, they learned the language of the creatures of the field, who told them how to care for the plants, which grew to unimaginable size for many years. Many indigenous peoples in South America choose a spirit animal whose body they inhabit from time to time. They perform miraculous healings and receive messages from the spirit world while in this guise. Many times the voices of the ancestors are called forth. The shamans heal through powerful ceremonies and potent native plants. They interpret dreams from the community, which instruct them on their work for the day. There is a legend shared by many indigenous people in South America which tells of the beginning of time in which two powerful birds, the eagle and the condor, flew together. Gradually, however, they took separate paths. The people of the eagle developed extraordinary aesthetic and cognitive skills. They developed technologies which brought great wealth, but forgot their connections with the earth, the cosmos. And I didn't mean to put Mother Earth. I should take out one of those earths, causing great destruction of their home, which put their existence in great peril. The people of the condor developed a heart, spirit, and senses with deep connection with the natural world and the ancient wisdom. They understood their interrelatedness with the natural world and the great cycles of the earth. But they became hungry and impoverished in their knowledge of interaction with the eagle, which put their existence at risk. In the fifth Pachuti, the current 500-year period, the eagle and condor must once again learn to fly together and share their skills in order to heal planet Earth.
Well, we're living in
This is the
the
Pachamama.
We're,
Never knew that.
according to that, to the legend, we're in the fifth Pachuti. They measure time in
That's
Pachutis.
the patootie and the fifth.
The idea of dual births seems to be prevalent throughout myth,
Yeah,
history
yeah,
of
yeah.
very
creation.
common.
Yeah, and I mean, it's everywhere. You find
Yeah,
it
it
everywhere.
is.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
It
twins,
is.
twins separated at birth and then they reconnect,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
brothers
Yeah.
and sisters, yeah, very common.
It makes you wonder why twin birth was it so rare at the time these myths were being developed or worked on? Because myths keep getting worked on, right?
yeah, yeah.
This is Pachamama inspired partly, and
Partly,
partly
yeah.
very, very personal, I can tell.
Yeah.
Mary Ann, I wanted to ask about that.
But that's very nice. I like the
Yeah.
eagle and the condor.
Yeah, this is a wonderful poem. The grandmother, is that true?
It's true. That was my mother-in-law.
And how old was her son?
He was, let's see, it was Don. He was about 65, probably. She hasn't been gone that long. He was 70.
No,
But-
was the grandmother having visions?
Yeah.
Or?
She just, and he knew that.
Oh.
She
Oh,
wanted
I
to,
see.
she wanted to die.
Mhm.
And she couldn't figure out how to do it. I mean, she didn't die until she was 104. But she kept having these visions. She saw angels, and they were just sitting, we were there, and they were just sitting together, and she kept saying, she kept looking out and saying, there's somebody out there in the field where they want. And so he said, well, what do they look like? And she said, well, they're wearing black suits. She said, I can't see well enough to see how many there are.
Mhm.
And he just said, well, maybe I should go and check. And I mean, he just intuitively knew what she was thinking about. And so he went out to the mailbox, and he came back in, and she said, what do they want? And that's pretty much verbatim what he said.
Yeah, that's a good,
Wonderful.
classic story.
Oh,
That
yeah.
way,
Yeah, because, I mean, she had earlier asked him to call a priest. And he said, Mother, you're not Catholic. Why do you want me to call a priest? And she said, well, in the movies, the priest comes and he sprinkles something and says some words, and then they die. And she said, I thought maybe he could help me.
Yeah.
That would happen to me if I came, because she had always been so active until she was still taking pokey exercise. I mean, they didn't call it that one. Oh, don't mention age. She was in a don't mention age exercise group, and she was still doing that when she was 100. But then it started going down, and she didn't want to live. She didn't, but she couldn't figure out how to die. So,
My dad was like that too.
yeah.
Good God, how long does this have to go on?
Yeah. She didn't, yeah. But it's true, so. And the other, I have this Drew Dillinger poem is just one that I wrote, and
Sorry.
I don't have to read it, but I wanted to give it.
Go ahead.
You can read it,
Okay.
You're on a roll.
Okay.
Keep going.
It's called Love Letter to the Milky Way, and this is, I don't know if you all know this man, but he writes this wonderful, he just loves poetry. So, I want to tell you about love. There are approximately 1 trillion galaxies I want to tell you about. In the Milky Way, there are about 100 billion stars. I want to tell you, love is the breath of the cosmos. I want to write a love letter to the Milky Way. Everything is an expression of the galaxy. My 30 trillion cells, the 4 noble truths, the 8-fold path, the 5 precepts, the 7 energy centers of the body. Everything is the Milky Way, including my lover, and every kiss of every lover that's ever lived. The deep sky, the ubiquity of spirit, the DNA of dreams, the interlocking patterns of the cosmic constellations. Cosmos, I was thinking spring.
Mhm.
Cosmic is supposed to be. And justice are synonymous with beauty. But parts of the Milky Way don't give off light. Sometimes it feels like I've got ground zero in my heart. The dark sun leaves shadows. The dark sun leaves shadows on everything. The forecast calls for scattered to broken skies. If there wasn't so much love, there wouldn't be so much pain. It's like love is the nervous system of the universe, bringing us joy and sorrow. I inherit the voice of the Milky Way in my dreams. The entire galaxy revolves around a single drop of wine. Your skin, the texture of the cosmos, the religion beyond religion. I want to know you like the winds know knows the canyons, or the rain knows the rivulets. Lightning is continuously striking in 100 places every moment. The universe spills through our dreams. The future belongs to the most compelling story. Even the word love, the force that wove the fabric of space-time. If we could sense everything at once, like Krishna entering history with all the memory of his past incarnations, then I could tell you about love.
Wow, that's powerful stuff.
Yes.
Ooh,
And beautiful.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah.
and a trillion galaxies.
It says everything at once,
Yeah,
full of,
Oh,
full of thought.
so if and then I just brought a poem. I was on a spin moment. Here. Bringing Alan, those of you who get Alan Cohen's Power of Poetry newsletter, the poem that he sent this week is a Wendell Berry poem. And it is, since I love Wendell, I was into my favorite poets this week. So.
We've invited him, by the way, with Marianne's initiative, to be a speaker at the Maritime Association next
Yeah.
year. So he's
Excellent.
Yeah, he's going to.
Excellent.
He's going to come bring some students.
Yeah.
It's from Wendell Berry's book, the Sabbath poems. No, there is no going back. Less and less you are that possibility you were. More and more you have become those lives and deaths that have belonged to you. You have become a sort of grave containing much that was, and is no more in time, beloved then, now, and always. And so you have become a sort of tree standing over the grave. Now more than ever you can be generous toward each day that comes, young, to disappear forever, and yet remain unaging in the mind. Every day you have less reason not to give yourself away. Isn't that wonderful?
really beautiful. Which way are we going to go?
We think from this one.
Southwest, and I guess I'm
Well, we do that a couple of practical. Thank you.
You just can't help it.
Actually, I am currently working on getting Wendell Berry to come here. I don't think it's going to happen, but
Maybe for you.
my friend Wes Jackson, they're sort of joined at the hip. Wes Jackson and Wendell Berry do a lot of things together, so I called him because we're having a workshop for teachers on environmental education in September, and we decided we wanted to try to get Wendell Berry here before he dies. I don't think he's ever been here. And he doesn't live far. I
Where
mean,
does he
he
live?
lives in
Kentucky or
Port
something?
Royal, Kentucky. So I called Wes and said, okay, how can I get in touch with him? And he told me, but he said, you have to write him a letter. And he probably will say no.
Uh-huh.
But he said it's worth a try.
Yeah.
So I'm composing the letter. And
Yeah, he's pretty much on the big circuit now.
yeah, he's on the big circuit, but he doesn't
Yeah,
like
why
to
did you-
travel,
no, I
so
just-
he doesn't do too much.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an extra that goes.
So I doubt it, but
Oh,
anyway,
for Milton if he comes?
think happy. I think Wendell Berry.
Not really.
To put us in the mood of thinking about what's real and what's not real, I remembered a poem by Emily Dickinson, which I want to read first, the one that's written in red on your page. And what she thinks is real is agony. I like a look of agony because I know it's true. Men do not sham convulsion, nor simulate a throe. The eyes glaze once, and that is death, impossible to feign. The beads upon the forehead by homely anguish strung. That's a notion of, what is real. And she says, you can't, some things you can't fake, and agony is one of them. I love her sense of the moment, the wounded deer leaps highest, all of these notions of just a passing moment. Well, anyway, I was trying to think of reality, and nothing came to mind. So nothing is the title of my poem.
Nothing real.
If that's
They'll
Barack
lost.
Obama, tell him we're busy.
Right.
Stanzas here are rhyming couplets, and they're all iambic tetrameter, so they all have a da-da, 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 da-da beat meter to them. Nothing really. Or nothing really. Depends on how you enunciate the title.
The power of the comma.
Yeah, power of the color, yeah. Some say our world is made of string. In fact, not made of anything. Big bang, and then we flew apart. Black hole, and then we're back to start. Are we the gasp of some space king? A great celestial czar's odd fling? Exhaling all in one long breath, inhaling all right back to death. If nothing but nothing is real, is nothing all we can reveal? To opt to be or not to be is not a choice that I can see. That's my being and nothingness to steal a phrase from Jean-Paul Sartre.
Yeah.
Nothingness is really one of these mind-boggling terms to contemplate, that if nothing is real, does that mean that the only real thing is that state of nothingness? Or does it mean that absolutely nothing
So
is
that
real?
makes nothing something. My
Something must
poem
be
was the other way.
something. It just bites its tail when you start thinking about this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's fun to think
of
about.
the universe.
That none of us choose to be, and very few of us confront the question to be or not to be. I suppose we could hasten our death with some kind of mercy killing, but we didn't choose to be born. We didn't choose to be born in the richest nation on earth, and we didn't deserve it any more than an Indian peasant did. And we really don't choose our fates as much as I think we would like to imagine that we do. It happens.
The question that so many turn to, why is there anything anyway? Yeah, why? Is there anything?
And is it all a dream?
Uh-huh.
Dreaming
Right.
of yourself.
This is a
Like
dream,
Heidi
as
said.
Haile said at 5 years of age.
And it could be argued, Felix, that in fact, that in our previous life, while we were resting and contemplating what we've done in the past life, we select the family that we're going to be born into next because it
that'd be nice.
presents a set of probabilities.
Oh, that's scary to think I chose the one I'm in.
I know.
know.
You've done very well. You've done very well.
Some things we'll leave alone.
There's only one.
It's all one.
Oh my
It's all
gosh.
Oh, it's all one.
It's all one.
Oh,
It's all one. I just couldn't stop.
No.
you didn't have a footnote to stop.
So next time, you better pray that I use footnotes because they stop me.
Wendy, you explained all the footnotes. All the footnotes are in the text.
Right, exactly. I had to incorporate them in the text. So, cogito ergo sum. Where do we come from? Is there a God? What is the source of authority? Is everything, even us, just a dream? In doubting everything and reducing every argument, Descartes reasoned that the thinker cannot doubt the thinking, and the thoughts are the thoughts of a being with existence. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore, I am is his deduction. But why cogito? Why not sentio, or amo, or odi, or even misericordiam prestavo? Why not feel, or love, or hate, or the feeling of compassion? Of course, Descartes would counter that love and hate and the feeling of compassion can be reduced to feeling in its starkest form. Good for the philosopher, but not for those of us who know that love and hate can move entire nations, and without compassion, life is an inferno. But why not sentio, ergo sum? And if there is a clash between thinking and feeling, which should emerge as the dominant determinant? As I sojourn on the river of life, I moor my boat by a mist-shrouded shore, where a meadow invites me to rest, with a bundle of dreams for a pillow. There, I can meditate about what I have done and not done, about my joys and my sorrows, what I have gained and what I have lost. You ask why I dream on the green meadow. I think, I smile, but I do not answer, for my heart is at peace and free of care. The flowing waters of the river carry flower petals to far-off destinations. But the river does not ask where they want to go or why they fell in the torrent. If the river and the petals do not think, do they exist? If the river and the petals do not feel, do they exist? Like the river, let life flow. Let it be free and stay centered, accepting whoever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, knowing that this is not fatalism or passivity. The same river that peaceably flows by as you dream on its shore carries the waters that carved canyons out of the rocks of ages. I think, I feel, I laugh, I mourn, I love. I have decided that I will not hate. Therefore, I know that I am. But what am I? I am more than my thoughts, and each day I pause, I reaffirm who I am, and I embark again on my life's journey, knowing that I will reach my end. Perhaps it is far off, or maybe it is just around the bend. Just don't ask what the date or the destination will be, but know that it will be a voyage of no return. When I can no longer think, will I still be I? And in my final thought, how much of my life will I comprehend? After I bid the last farewell in the winter of my life, grass will grow again the next spring, and flowers will bloom. But I will no longer think, nor will I feel, or laugh, or mourn, or love. I will no longer be, non sum. In the moonless night of my eternal dream, I will not dare to look back and see how my name dissolves. Je me souviens, donc je suis. I remember, therefore I am. Je ne me souviens pas, donc je ne suis pas.
Wow. That casts a
Okay.
spell.
Heavy, heavy.
That brings up the question, with people with something like Alzheimer's,
Right.
do they not exist? I mean,
In a way.
Mm-hmm. In a way.
Yeah, well, we can't talk about leaves and humans in the same breath, I guess. If we're philosophers, we don't attempt to philosophize as though we were a leaf.
Oh, right.
But, you know, I don't know, psychologists, of course, could make anything they want of it, but
Says the psychologist.
is not thinking the step to loving, to feeling, to dreaming. In other words, maybe you could argue, I think, from a scientific point of view, that the thinking is primary,
Mhm.
to justify why he begins with cogito ergo sum.
Yeah, yeah.
You do not mention hunger.
No, that's one thing to add.
He
I'm
wrote it
hungry,
at the
there I
end.
4 a.m.
Hunger.
I wrote this after lunch, you know.
You really feel your being when you're hungry, right?
But, I mean, if in fact, and I believe this happens, I don't know how it happens, if it happens that you can shapeshift and you can become an animal or whatever, then that poses a whole different set of questions. If in fact there are levels of consciousness that we in the West have either abandoned or don't have the sense to recognize, and which there are, I believe, then that takes us to a completely different way of
That
looking at it.
dumps Descartes.
Yeah, it dumps Descartes. Yeah.
Although it begs the question, and the question is, do animals think?
Oh, yes, animals.
And they
Certainly
do.
do.
I know they do.
They think in a different.
Well, then you would be putting the horse before Descartes.
You set that up.
We practiced that several hours yesterday.
Well, it snuck up on me.
All right.
Well,
Too funny.
Well, ask Frost whether horses think, right?
yes, I observe, I am an
Some
observer
animals are
of
smarter
animal behavior.
than most.
And I would say that's
Sure.
the same.
Dolphins think. Dolphins think. They communicate.
Yeah.
And whales. And
Whales do too.
and dogs, even dogs.
Dogs,
Uh-huh.
horses.
I
Feel.
My deer were looking at me this morning as I was walking up the driveway. They were all stopped. They're a family of 3. And there were these 6 ears, 6 eyes, and 3 black noses just looking at me. They were thinking, is he going to bring
Noses
some
looking
corn?
at you.
now? Is he going to bring some corn?
And did you?
I didn't at that
Oh,
time.
they are disappointed. There are 3 disappointed
That's right.
deer.
But you've done that in the past.
Oh,
yeah.
earlier that morning, this morning, I had given them some corn.
So now they're your pets.
Well, they are indeed. I don't allow them to touch me though. But the little guy, the little baby, it's like feeding a dog, really. I have to deliberately dodge him because I don't want to make contact. I don't want to, you know.
Yeah.
Eventually he'll get as skitterish, but Mom, our 3-legged deer, Mom and her offspring is who it is, and she's been with us for 4 years or so, how many fawns, and she will come to me, but not close. 6 feet is about it with her.
2 of these deer are pregnant, so next year he'll have at least 5 following him around the yard. The cornbill is gonna go.
I'll trade you.
Well, I've sort of given up on people this year. I've been going out into the woods with the critters.
I didn't.
And Joseph, you wrote a wonderful poem, and it really is
Yeah.
thought-provoking. And I'm sorry, I wish I knew Spanish, but I don't. So, could you tell me what Sentio?
Oh, it's Latin.
Oh, Latin.
And it's on the next line.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they're
okay.
repeated.
Wait on.
Yeah, the next line is a translation of each one of these Latin words.
Okay.
What's praestabo? That means
Misericordia and prestavo.
praestabo.
Prestavo has 2 meanings. One is it has to do with feeling.
Okay.
The other one has to do with giving, or lending. So it's like lending misericordiam or compassion.
Okay, misericordium is compassion,
Yes.
not just misery.
No, oh no, it's not misery. No, no, no. No, that would be one of those false cognates. Misericordium is actually the opposite of misery. It's compassion. It's a feeling of like a kindred spirit, something that is very deep to you. Yeah, but that's not Spanish, but Latin.
Okay. Actually,
We have
I did
Adam.
take that, but I don't want to admit it now.
And of course, the reason is that since the Descartes wrote his book in Latin,
Uh-huh.
and then that expression cogito ergo sum, I think, cogito therefore I am.
First, a golden age of thinking, a world suddenly made free to roam, pirates, disease, starvation, all put aside to the thinking persons. Name them for yourself. Your list might be different than mine. I'll take Voltaire, Newton, and maybe an Italian artist or two. See the curiosity at work. Watch the pen scribble, the wonder of breathing inspiration right before your eyes. Now pick the atom, the first on our list. Finally, this tiny, this imperceptible object is made real. Ground glass has begun to let the curious see inside themselves. Where does it stop, this investigation of all the unholy bits and crumbs of sinner and fool alike? The last concrete on that atomic level we now discover is a mixture of crushed rock, burnt lime, volcanic ash, and water as full of holes as we are. But as we struggle or think, as someone might say, we've hit it and become the dust of atoms.
I thought the concrete would be on the end because they put on concrete overshoes and sunk them to the bottom of the bag.
No, I would say
No longer
concrete.
existing.
Concrete's a metaphor for death, right?
Right.
And the other one is my bitch of the week. Everybody gets to have one.
At least one.
Sagacious prevaricator. The sagacious prevaricator knew he'd met his match when his title was erased from books and education. With the lowering of the SAT requirements, no longer would he be either sagacious or a prevaricator. From now on, his title would be Wise Ass Liar. Alas, no class. Kids can be dumb as sticks and never guess what smacked them into dumpshood. And can the merry prankster be far behind? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, the kids at Athens have had so many snow days, they're gonna all be dunces. They won't pass any standardized tests, they've had like 16 days.
The New York Times had a huge article on SAT this last
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah. They're redoing it.
I mean, we can, what is going to happen to spelling bees? Are they all going to be two-syllable words?
Gotta be, three-letter words.
Well, I think they worn themselves out with this last one.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
ran
they
out
ran
of
out-
words.
ran out of words.
Yeah, they finally determined to have co-winners because it had gone on for so long that everybody was exhausted. So maybe they'll say, okay, from now on,
There's
it's
a lot of
2
words out
three
there.
at the most.
There's a lot of words out there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine running out of words in the English language. I thought it would take forever.
Or they must have some kind of limitations or something to have run out of words.
Produce greater yields. The palisades cut from local trees were dug in to make a stockade, giving fortification against those from outside who might invade. Earth was piled along many a river to make a levee, to hold back rising water with soil, clay and heavy. Boulders and concrete were stacked to build a seawall to save the community seashore should crushing ocean storms befall. Defensive walls have been built that defy comprehension. The Great Wall of China can be seen from space because of its great dimension. The Berlin Wall of modern concrete became a political statement, eventually torn down by those people who rejected their abasement. Walls are now erected in every city, town, and village to bolster house prices and the sheltered residents' sense of privilege. They separate these few from the surrounding citizenry, viewed as potential invaders from a pestilence-filled sea. Good fences, said the crusty old poet, good neighbors make. These days, fences repel neighborliness and ugly barriers create. Wall Street had its origin as a traditional security barrier. Now it's a symbol of wealth, guarding crafty manipulators and the warier.
Very
Oh.
clever.
An exercise in rhyming.
Your rhymes are very creative.
Really?
Some of them are flat rhymes, and some of them are absolute rhymes. It's a thesis of rhyme type. Well, it's fun.
The simple thought was, we tore down the wall in Berlin, and now what are we doing? This inequality stuff, that we're talking about. And the rest of it is just fill,
Yeah.
whatever. And exercise. Rhymester at work.
Oh.
On the other side, we have something entitled Exist. I insist I exist. Is there something I've missed? I've thought it through and explained it to you. I insist I exist. Though sometimes in a foggy mist I lose track of the contemporary gist. But those times are few, when thought was just a blank I drew. Yet still, I then insist I exist. One could make a short list of those times awareness was missed, but we cannot from them construe that non-existence is true. I insist I exist. I do exist as others do, and have for some time, it is unarguably true. But soon enough we'll all be extinct. It'll all be as quick as if the cosmos blinked. Yet I do. Still I do yet exist. As I sat in the cafe, very pensive, one could say, I repeated cogito ergo sum while I stirred my coffee with my thumb.
I swear, I think that's the most playful I've ever.
I didn't recognize you from behind. That wiggle did not see. I eye your behind, I have to think. To eye your eye is more you. Although when you depart, it's to your behind, I say, adieu.
I think that's a lovely.
There you go.
That'll go down.
You started it last time with that poem.
Not me. I take no blame.
Well, today's post.
There's
Chair.
a chair over here and a chair over there and a seat over
Yeah,
there.
we'll manage.
Hey, hey. Bill,
Then move this or, that helps, right?
Okay.
Bill, if we can't stand our poetry, you can't stand our poetry, so sit down.
We'd be ready to go around the other room and hide your face.
What do you?
Right here.
I don't know there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no.
Sure is.
Our prompt was existence, and
I thought it was reality.
oh well, doesn't matter.
No, I thought it was
What's reality?
Whatever you thought is okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever you thought, because
And-
it was,
It's real.
I think
Thinking is
therefore
real.
it is, or I thought therefore it is.
And so I got it into my head, I wanted to try to write
Cogito ergo sum.
a sonnet,
That's the fee.
but I had no idea
That's the
on how to
thing.
write a sonnet. Would you beg please? And so, I'm so impressed with Sven and everybody's rhyming and things, which I don't know how to do. So I had to look it up on my telephone, my internet. And they told me about this scheme,
Oh.
A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, G, E, F, O, G, G. Okay, anyways, the first time around, I couldn't do it. It was just too difficult. I was like stuffing myself in a box that I couldn't go into. So I thought I'll try just with 14 lines. Okay, so let's read the bottom one first. Everybody's asking. Once upon a labyrinth I walked, a crowned, ordained, and holy queen. Bejeweled and finely clothed, I searched the indigo sky for my answers, the reasons, the why. 'Twas the very same stars, the same fat moon, that I, a poor fast food slave, gazed on with bleary squinted eye, wondering if God remembered me, if she even knew I was alive, as always, hoping I'd hear real soon. Then, looking at the same rapture in the heavens above, I, a blue-veined, amused old crone, did boldly ask, who made you, Gaia, mother of all? Who brought you up so well to not fear death and to have a good laugh when it feels like hell? We've all been just wondering how it all began. Tell us, dear mother, what exactly was the plan? Of course, that's all I could do. Iambic pentameter, I was like, what the hell is that?
What the hell is a hell?
And then I kept thinking about it, and I thought, well, I really should try it. So the second one tried to be correct according to the laws of sonnet writing for Shakespearean sonnets. Our love song. We think we know what's sane and real, but no, it is but an illusion of control. The way of life unravels fast, not slow, like roller coaster rides that pass the toll. We miss the fun when we say done too soon. We want to be so right, we lose the truth. Reflecting back, we sing another tune. If only we knew then. Good God, forsooth. But we deny our knowing and deny. Our stomachs tell us speak, but we say no. Our hearts say cry, yet we resist and sigh. What ails us? We can't be wrong. Life flows. To be that river, collect that dirt, and move in harmony with all. Nothing to prove. Thank you.
Well done.
I thought, well, I got the rhyming. I don't know if it makes any sense.
That's the other fee.
Yeah.
Sense of nonsense, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you.
Think how many Shakespeare had to write, and he never got it quite right.
Now, before things get all upgeschrewn, as they always do, there are 2 pages. Everybody needs 2 pages, so they're separated into 2-page sets. So don't send them off one by one. Take both pages.
Aye, aye, Capitan.
Take both pages. This one and the other one is up by the left.
Oh, I see. I see how you did it. Okay.
Yep. At least I think I do. If not, we'll send you out on the,
No, take both pages. There's one, and there's the other one.
Well, why are they like this?
Just that way so you can tell just pick up the 2 pages, damn it.
Okay,
What's wrong with you people?
well, we're
Oh,
just,
they're 2 together.
Yes.
hell.
Geez,
I don't know
Louise.
what's wrong with me, but there is something wrong.
I think that's fine.
There is.
And I'm happy with it.
See, they go, 2 of them go one direction and then the next 2 go the other direction. I thought it was simple.
No, it isn't, obviously.
They do a vote.
You should each have one that,
I
one that
have one that
starts,
says, I bet
I
no
bet
one.
no one, and then.
The other
you
one
should-
says,
and
June
you should have
14th?
June 14th.
One
correct.
says 14-point type and the
Well,
other's
yeah, that's
on
because-
10-point.
I don't know how it happened, but
Milton, do you have one?
my computer was down to 60%
Oh, you got it, thank you.
size instead of, and
Yeah,
so, which
but-
reminds me,
Okay.
Phil, sometime when you're, using your father's computer, if you ever do, look down in the bottom on the right-hand side, where it's got a percentage, and see if it can go up to 100%, because everything I get from him is minute. I think it must be 13% or something, but, so if you check that, I'd appreciate it, because I'm getting squinty eyed.
Although all
Okay.
it does, Patricia, is determine the size of the letters on the screen, not the paper. What you want to do is go to the top of the page.
Well, I know about the
And
type
select
size.
the
What I
font
can't
size.
figure out is how to make it default to, I would like it to default to 12-point
That's easy-
New
easy-
Times Roman.
easy to do.
And it's stuck on Calabri 11 or something like that. And I do it to 12-point Times Roman, and it says, okay, I'll do it this time. Next time, I'm going back to where I was.
As you said,
Exactly,
but
yeah.
that's-
There's got to be some way I can make it default to that, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, we're gonna start with, I bet no one takes this seriously. I think, therefore I am, and I love my dog, so I think, therefore I am's is probably the best for her. Brightly colored food is healthier. I think, therefore yams are probably what I should eat. As to meter, I think, therefore I am after I am to work.
Good.
Thank you, dear.
I'm glad you got that out of your system.
Woo!
With this, Patricia, next.
Bernard bark, I'd likely be dining on termites, and so you see, a friend to those in wooden abodes. I could save them a mint just by eating loads of ill-behaved bugs. But because I'd have such a powerful snout, I dare you to challenge my unique dining out. That makes sense.
I wanted to know what made you think of an art party.
I have no idea.
It's such a great word, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had breakfast
It's
with
fun.
one
It's
morning.
fun.
Did you eat the same meal?
What did you say?
Well, he
She had breakfast.
laid across my shoulder and his tongue came up and went into my bowl of cereal.
So actually,
Where was
more
that?
than he
It was
had
at
breakfast.
Tikal.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was at the,
Where?
there, at Tikal, the,
Or Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Oh.
Yeah. Ruins.
What?
How big was it?
A good sized cat.
And it was on your shoulder?
Sure.
And it just laid its tongue. 'Cause
Yeah,
the
I mean,
tongue
the
goes
tongue
way
was-
out, you
yeah,
know, to
the
get
tongue
those
is yard
ants
long.
down in the hole, and it just laid its tongue across this bowl of milk.
Did he like it?
Yeah, stayed there.
I liked him.
And you let him eat it?
Yeah, sure. I'm not, I love animals. I enjoy animals. I get along with them pretty good, better than
The
people.
manager, or whatever, the caretaker at Tikal was a master's degree biologist. And so she was doing a lot of reintroduction of where the people at the airport would take all these animals that were illegal to take from the country. And, you know, eventually they turn them over to her or someone else to attempt to reintroduce them to the wild.
CITES.
And so some of them got kind of domesticated with her. And so we had kinkages and,
Yeah.
and
Parrots of all kinds. They sit on your head. We had monkeys running around in the room. Yeah. It was heaven.
So an aardvark is nothing to fear, it doesn't hurt you.
It's a nice, clean animal.
don't even bark.
But what's a kinkajou?
Yeah, it's a member.
I thought kinkajou was raccoon.
Kind of a cross between a cat and a what?
Oh, it's a different thing. I
And
know.
a monkey.
I I
Kind of a
can't
cross
remember.
between a cat and a monkey.
They got a long tail.
I had that mixed up with the words in, American Indian word for Wolverine, which is a caricature. And I thought, are you not gonna want to?
No, I don't
do
know.
the
I've
caricature?
seen Wolverines.
They're not,
They're nasty creatures.
they are, and, seem to enjoy it. Being nasty.
Well, that was the Michigan.
Milk, you have a point? I've been around once, it's Nan's turn, but
Nan
maybe you
has
wanna
the ball.
film milk first, and then we'll do Nan last. You ready? Milk? And then we'll do you next. So we can film you.
You're doing the same thing I tried to do to Ruth. Keep the many and pass the one.
Yeah.
Somehow.
You didn't get one? I don't think she has one.
Nan, you didn't get one.
We changed the party never hearing about one other.
Uncle Extra's there.
Poochie's trusted us 5 years old. So,
Yeah.
qualities grow better with
They
age.
do, like wine and women.
The years had shortened Poochie's sleep and found more hours for her to sleep. She missed the rabbits at the gate. Her eyes had dimmed, her leaps were late. Poochie missed the walks once long when Master whistled and sang a song. Now he mumbled and stumbled about while Poochie kept him on his route. When her old master set the date of Poochie's ride to meet her fate, she knew her hours were very, very few, but trusted her master would be there too.
Flying back.
Life back.
Go back. Go back. Go back.
There were a couple extra.
No, I don't have it. I do, but it says that television is on.
Oh, that's different. Destinations are what we're looking at.
Well, I can give you this and I'll look on the food.
Destinations, where will we go for to speak by and by? No doubt we will aim for a heaven on high. But astrophysicists with views telescopic suggest that man's grave gaze is gravely myopic. There is plenty of space beyond cloud and star, but how to prepare from that which we are now, we now are? Will eating and breathing be as we know here? And will we bump into old friends some dear? Will we greet kin from centuries ago, or meet only family whom we so well know? So many questions, who can tell? Will all the doubters go straight to hell?
Yeah, I guess those astrophysics on that either, have they?
Well, you know, ironically, there was a fantastic thing with astrophysicist Tyson on Tuesday night, Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
If you could have cut out the commercials, but it ruined it.
Yeah,
It was
it did.
awful.
It did.
It was.
It was also broadcast on.
Okay, the other is on the back. Questions to whom? If you were fishing at the edge of a black hole, what might you catch? If there is no such thing as time, what? If the God particle really exists, does his sun also? We contain at least one atom of everyone who ever lived. How is that possible? Dinosaurs too? What is the survival value of the near-death experience? How did it come to be? How can you be two places at the same time? Is that how the alternate universes work? How can mathematics mirror reality? Why do we trust it? And from whence did it come? Life comes and seems to go, but mathematics exists forever? Is God a mathematician? Is emergence teleological or haphazard? Why is everything lunch for something else? Is that what's behind so much violence in the world? Quick, define reality. Webster says the quality or state of being real. Alive is the state of not being dead. Is it hydrogen or helium that they think led to life? And where did that element come from? Why is there something instead of nothing? Who says there is?